Namaskaram. Savarkar was one of the most fascinating writers in our country. There are 38 books, including two novels, written by him. His writings were all in Marathi and in English. Most of his writings were either before he was 28 years old or after he was 55 years old, because in between for 27 youthful years he was inside the prison. In this video, I will talk about one of Savarkar's famous book, The Indian War of Independence 1857. Till Savarkar wrote this book, we never knew who were those great sons who proved their identity in the battle. Till Savarkar wrote this book, we never knew their names. Till Savarkar wrote this book, we never knew about those great souls who devoted their life for our motherland. Till Savarkar wrote this book, we never knew what inspired them to jump into this terrible battle. Till Savarkar wrote this book, those heroes were fading away from Indian public memory. Till Savarkar wrote this book, those heroes were labeled as dacoits by English who carried out a mutiny. Till Savarkar wrote this book, Indians were prohibited from uttering a word about the 1857 struggle. What a misfortunate situation was that, living without knowing about those departed heroes who shed their blood for us. 1909 was the time when Britain was persecuting Indian revolutionaries who were revolting against the Minto Morley reforms. Lokmanya Tilak was transported to Burma for 6 years. It was at that time the Liberal Congress leader Gopal Krishna Gokhale visited England. Savarkar was in London at that time. He met Gokhale and made two requests. He requested Gokhale to preside over a public meeting in London to voice the protest against Bal Gangadhar Tilak's arrest. Gokhale refused to do that. Savarkar was surprised by the reaction from such a tall leader. Savarkar then made his second request. He requested Gokhale to take up an initiative to rewrite the history of India's struggle for independence in 1857. Gokhale did not agree to that also. Gokhale was of the opinion that any aggressive step would be a deviation from Congress's non-violence approach and will impact its relationship with Britain. Savarkar was terribly disappointed by Gokhale's compromising nature and soft ideas. So Savarkar had decided to write the real history of India's independence movement of 1857 by himself. He spent days and nights in British Library reading old records, manuscripts, historical accounts, diaries, travel documents, army letters, war papers, court proceedings, old map and pictures. He had studied more than 1,500 books in 1.5 years for his research. When Savarkar completed this book, he was only 24 years old. British intelligence somehow came to know about this book, and Scotland Yard police raided India House where Savarkar was living. They took out the manuscripts of 2 chapters that was there at that time. But luckily, the revolutionaries had already smuggled the copy of the entire book to India by then. Abhinav Bharat tried to get this book printed in India, but because of the content, nobody dared to publish the book in India. Finally, Abhinav Bharat themselves set up a press and tried to print this book. But police raided the press and sealed it. Fortunately, the manuscripts of the book was secured by the revolutionaries and sent to Paris before the press was raided. They could not get this book printed in Paris because the composers could not follow the Marathi and Devanagari scripts. So then they took the manuscripts to Germany, and they had the same problem there also. Finally, some members of Abhinav Bharat translated the book to English and sent the English copy to a press in Paris. Unfortunately, due to British involvement, French government did not allow that press also to print the book. Revolutionaries then took the English translation to Holland and got the book finally printed from there. Several copies of the book were secretly distributed in Paris and other parts of Europe. This book was well received in France, Ireland, Russia, Egypt, Germany, and also in US. In US, this was further translated and printed in Hindi, Urdu, and in Punjabi. London Times criticized the British government for banning the publication of this book, and they went ahead and published the full content. The Indian War of Independence 1857 is referred as the sacred Geetha of Savarkar. Today, this book is available in all regional languages and also in English. Order one for your personal library. Do it today and be a proud Indian. Thank you so much. Vande Mataram.